I suppose it's not often that a man in diamante sunglasses with failing eyesight becomes the moral voice of the nation's conscience, but this weekend, Sir Elton John, a knight of the realm and a titan of British pop, dropped his piano lid on the UK government's AI copyright policy, and the sound was deafening. Just 9 months ago, Elton was rallying the faithful for Labour, belting out political endorsements as confidently as he sings Rocket Man. But today, from Runcorn to Durham and well beyond the Red Wall, the mood was soured. Even the lovies are turning, and the betrayal they feel is not theatrical, it's existential. On Sunday with Laura Kuenssberg, Elton John didn't mince his words. The government, he declared, were absolute losers, and their plan to let AI firms train on copyrighted work without permission was tantamount to theft. That betrayal, he said, was not just personal but generational. They are robbing young people of their legacy and their income. Let's be clear, this is not a cry from a nostalgic has-been. This is one of the most successful artists in modern music, whose catalogue has made millions, fighting for the rights of those who might never get the chance to earn £1,000, let alone £1 million. Their proposed changes would allow AI firms to scrape, absorb and reuse the intellectual work of musicians, writers and artists without a guaranteed requirement to notify or compensate them. Creators would have to opt out, and those who fail to do so would simply be digested into the algorithmic maw. Elton isn't alone. Paul McCartney, Andrew Lloyd Webber, Ed Sheeran have all raised the alarm, yet the government, it seems, prefers the company of Silicon Valley lobbyists to that of British creatives, and threatens to destroy the one bit in the government which is focused on the creative industries. It threatens to terminate the Ministry of Culture. Much of Elton's ire was directed personally at Peter Kyle, the Secretary of State for Science, Innovation and Technology. Kyle was memorably dismissed as a bit of a moron, a remark that, while blunt, encapsulates the fury among artists who feel sold out by the very party that they campaigned for. Kyle's department, it turns out, has dramatically increased meetings with tech giants such as Google, Meta, Apple and Amazon since Labour came to power. And when a House of Lords amendment proposed by the crossbench peer Beban Kidron passed with overwhelming support, aiming to ensure creators must be notified if their work is used by AI, the government stuck it out in the Commons. The Lords voted 2-1 in favour of fairness, said Elton. The government shrugged and sided with the machines. This isn't policy, it's capitulation. And at the heart of Elton's speech was a philosophical challenge. A machine, he said, doesn't have a soul, doesn't have a heart, doesn't have a passion. Art, in his view, and in Plato's for that matter, is not merely replication but inspiration. Inspiration comes from outside. It's something that we rely on from other people. Inspiro, to breathe in. It's not just about royalties, it's about the fundamental question, what is art? What is the moral worth of human creation? And who owns the right to their own voice, their own lyrics, their own expression? Plato warned in the Aeon that inspiration was a kind of divine madness, a chain linking the muse to the artist. And Elton, too, is arguing that to reduce this to data, to feed it into a chatbot without consent, is to strip the muse of her wings. The story is not just cultural, it's political. Labour, the party of working class dignity and trade union solidarity, now finds itself at odds with the people who literally give Britain its global identity, the musicians, the playwrights, the filmmakers, none of whom seem to matter for this Philistine government. From Runcorn to Durham, Labour is bleeding its core vote, and now the creative elite, once loyal allies, are expressing open contempt. When Elton John calls you absolute losers, it's not just a PR disaster, it's a warning shot. Labour has always prided itself on defending the vulnerable. If young artists, underpaid, overworked and overlooked, are not vulnerable under this new regime, then who is? Sir Elton John has once again hit a note the government should not ignore. His fury is not theatrical, it's protective. He sees a future in which the very act of making art is undermined by legalised plagiarism dressed up as innovation, and in this fight between algorithms and artists, it's clear which side Elton stands on, and increasingly which side Labour doesn't. It's also clear which side is right. If Peter Kyle and his colleagues wish to prove that they're not losers, they must listen to the music before it fades. Because when the Rocket Man fires a warning shot, it's best not to wait until you're hit.